27 years ago, a 22-year-old Spurs tower walked into his first NBA Finals to face the New York Knicks, with an entire franchise's future on his shoulders. Sound familiar? It should, because Victor Wembanyama is currently living inside Tim Duncan's 1999 script, scene for scene, against the same opponent, and how that movie ended should terrify New York. The Heir, 7'4", 22 years old, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, carrying the same silver and black that 3 generations of Giants carried before him. San Antonio has run this exact experiment before. A franchise tower, a first finals, and the Knicks standing in the way. So let's roll the original film and see what it predicts about tonight. This is Game is Culture. Real quick before we get into it, if you like breakdowns that actually show the math instead of just yelling takes at you, go hit subscribe. It's free and it genuinely helps, so click it. First, rewind to the original, 1999. The season itself was strange. A lockout chopped it to 50 games and the Spurs tore through it at 37-13. At the center of everything stood a second-year forward from Wake Forest named Tim Duncan. Quiet, mechanical, unstoppable. By June, he was staring at the New York Knicks in the franchise's first ever finals, with the whole basketball world asking whether a 22-year-old could carry that stage. Here's how he answered. 27.4 points per game in that series. 14 rebounds a night, better than 2 blocks. He shot nearly 54% from the floor while New York threw everybody it had at him. 5 games later, the Spurs were champions, 4-1, and Duncan was holding the Finals MVP trophy in his second season in the league. And the way he did it matters as much as the numbers. Deep catches, simple reads, the bank shot, over and over like a metronome. No wasted dribbles for defenders to attack, no hero passes across the floor. The Knicks were long and desperate and physical, and Duncan simply refused to let the chaos touch him. Remember that recipe, it's going to come up again. Now hold the two scripts side by side. A Spurs tower, 22 years old, in his first NBA Finals against the New York Knicks. That sentence describes Tim Duncan in 1999, and it describes Victor Wembanyama tonight without changing a single word. Same franchise, same age, same stage, same opponent. The league has waited decades for a coincidence this clean, and it landed on the exact franchise that knows how the first version ended. The lineage runs deeper than the matchup. San Antonio's entire modern history is a relay race of #1 pick Giants. David Robinson handed the franchise to Duncan. Duncan's culture outlived him and waited. Then the lottery balls delivered Wembenyama, the most hyped 7-footer since either of them. 3 towers, 1 uniform, 50 years of franchise identity built on the idea that the big man sets the standard. And the production is eerily close too. Duncan's first finals game produced numbers in the high 20s with double-digit rebounds. Wembenyama's first finals game, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. On the surface, the sequel is tracking the original almost beat for beat. But there's one scene where the two scripts split apart completely, and it's the scene that decided Wednesday night. Because here's where the parallel breaks, for now. Efficiency. Duncan shot 53.7% across the 99 finals. Wembanyama opened this one at 28.6, 6 of 21, with 6 turnovers stacked on top. Duncan's finals were a clinic in refusing hard shots. Wednesday, Wemby took every hard shot New York offered him. The sequel has the same star, the same stage, and so far, the opposite shot diet, which makes Duncan's recipe the cheat sheet for tonight. Catch deeper so the wall arrives late. Take the short bank instead of the long face-up. Make the simple pass the moment 2 defenders commit. Every fix the film demands from Wembanyama in Game 2 is something the original Spurs tower already demonstrated. Against the same franchise on the same stage at the same age. The homework has been sitting in the building for 27 years. Real quick though, if you've made it this far, you've really gotta hit subscribe. I'm not going to beg, but I am going to ask, so hit it, and I'll wait. Now, what did the original ending set in motion? Duncan's 99 Finals MVP wasn't a one-week story. It was the ignition switch on the greatest two-decade run in modern team sports. 5 championships, 20 straight winning seasons, an entire coaching and front office tree that still shapes the league. All of it traces back to a 22-year-old calmly dismantling the Knicks in June. First Finals performances by franchise towers tend to echo for decades in San Antonio. That's the precedent sitting on Wembenyama's shoulders tonight. And Wembenyama knows the stakes of the comparison because everyone has made it since draft night. He was announced as the next Duncan before he played a single NBA minute. Game 1 was the first page of his finals chapter, and it ended in a loss the old man never suffered. Duncan started his finals career 5-0 against New York. The heir is already chasing the standard. One more layer of the mirror. Look at the supporting cast. In '99, Duncan didn't carry the tower burden alone. David Robinson, the franchise's previous giant, anchored the defense next to him while the kid handled the scoring. Wembenyama's version of help looks different. De'Aaron Fox supplies the speed, Castle and Harper supply the youth, and the rim protection falls on Victor alone. Duncan shared the paint with an admiral. Wemby patrols it solo. That's one part of the original script the sequel couldn't recreate. And Knicks fans should recognize their own reflection in this mirror too. The '99 team won hearts with wing defense and raw will. Sprewell and Houston flying around, an undermanned roster squeezing everything from every possession. Sound familiar? OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are running the same archetype tonight, except this version has more talent and all its stars healthy. New York didn't abandon the '99 identity. They finally funded it properly. There's even a symbol for all of this, and it's the most boring shot in basketball, the bank shot. Duncan's signature was a 15-footer off the glass that crowds never gasped at and defenses never solved. It won 5 championships. Wembenyama owns a highlight package Duncan never dreamed of, but June has always paid out to the boring thing done perfectly. If a few quiet bank shots show up in his game tonight, New York should be very, very nervous. Now the honest other side, because parallels don't play defense. Duncan's Knicks were a battered 8th seed running on miracles, with Patrick Ewing in street clothes for the series. Wembenyama's Knicks are a 53-win machine with the best defense of these playoffs and a closer who just dropped 30 on his floor. The 1999 script gave its hero a wounded opponent. The 2026 version handed him a juggernaut. Same stage, much harder movie. And there's a darker reading of the parallel for San Antonio. In '99, the Spurs were the team of destiny, and New York was the story everyone loved. Tonight, those roles have flipped. The Knicks are the ones with history pulling them forward. 53 years of it. If destiny is real in June, nobody can say for certain which sideline it's standing on this time. So I'm going to leave it with you. Does Wembenyama pick up Duncan's 27-year-old script tonight? Deep catches, simple reads, total calm, and write the sequel San Antonio has been waiting for? Or do these Knicks finally rewrite the ending their franchise has been owed since 1999? 2 towers, 1 stage. The second draft starts at 8:30. So tell me down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. We're in a race to 1,000 subscribers, so please join the family.